Hi everyone, and welcome to the setup guide for SpotMe and Marketo integration. This video is meant for everyone who is comfortable talking about APIs, webhooks, and custom metadata fields. If that's not you, feel free to forward this video to one of your colleagues. Before we get started, let's recap what this integration can do. So this integration is based around pushing new Marketo leads to SpotMe. So for every new lead, contact, or a program registration, you'll be able to create a new user in SpotMe. As you are creating this user in SpotMe, you'll be able to capture the magic link or the login URL from SpotMe and store it in Marketo. By storing this link in Marketo, you can continue using Marketo for your emailing campaigns and providing a single, simple, one-click link access to a SpotMe virtual event website or a mobile app. Let's just quickly also recap how this is technically going to work. We are going to set up a new token in each Marketo program that you want to connect with SpotMe. So we're going to store the ID of a SpotMe workspace in there, and then the webhook is going to create a new lead in a SpotMe workspace. As this user is created in SpotMe, SpotMe is going to return back the magic link. Now, because contacts are global objects, this would mean that a contact can be registered to only one SpotMe event at a time. To overcome this limitation, as a final step of the integration, we are going to copy the magic link from a Marketo contact to a program member. From there, you can use the program member token in your emails to send the magic link to your registrants. And finally, before we do really get started, a couple of things you will need. On SpotMe side, you will need an admin access to your organization, and you will need a test workspace. On the Marketo side, of course, you will also need admin access and the ability to create custom fields and webhooks, as well as a test event program with at least a form and an email. You can follow the tutorial if you do not have those set up, but it will be easier for you to complete the tutorial. Feel free to pause the video here, get those things ready in your browser, and resume the video once you're ready to start. Let's get started by creating custom fields in Marketo. I have my admin dashboard already open here, so I'm going to go into field management and create a new custom field. The first field we are creating is on the person object. It's a string type, and we're going to call it SpotMe Magic URL. I like to use underscores, so I'm going to rename this magic URL underscore URL, and we're going to create that. Okay, so now we've created the magic URL field on the person object. So this is the field that will be populated by the Marketo webhook with the response from the SpotMe API. Again, because this is stored on the person object, it's global, and it would mean a person can be registered to only one SpotMe event at a time. What we're going to do to overcome this, we're going to create a second custom field on the program member object, again, string type, and we're going to call it SpotMe login URL. Because in Marketo, we cannot have the same field name on different objects, we have to be creative a bit with the name, so that's why it's a login URL. And let me add underscores here again, login URL. And if you have a different naming convention in your Marketo instance, feel free to use that. Just take a note for the reminder of the video. We are going to use a SpotMe magic URL on the person object and a SpotMe URL on a program member object. Let's create that. And now we have the second field created as well. Now we are ready to set up our webhook. Let's go into the webhook section and create a new webhook. For the name, we'll call it push lead to SpotMe. Description we'll skip. And for the URL, you can find this URL on our knowledge base and you can just paste it here. So let me do that here. And as you can see here, we're using a new token that we haven't created yet. So this is the token we will create on every program that we want to connect with SpotMe. And it's going to have the ID of a SpotMe workspace. Let's continue with the request type. We will leave that at post. For the template of the request, You can also find this on our knowledge base. I'm just going to paste it here, and it's a very simple mapping for some of the default fields, the ID, first name, last name, email address, and a position. You can map any of the Marketo fields to any of the SpotMe fields, including custom ones, and you can find details how to do that on the knowledge base. We'll just leave it at this for now. For the request token encoding, keep this setting at none, and for the response type, select JSON. And we can store our webhook. We now have the basic of our webhook created. Let's configure the response mappings. So this is the feature that will let us map a response from a SpotMe API. And the field is login URL. So this field is going to have the magic link for the particular user. And we have to choose which Marketo field we want to store it to. Now, Marketo shows you both fields here, login URL and a magic URL, but only the magic URL will actually work because that's the one defined on the contact. If you don't see these fields here, don't forget to refresh Marketo. You have to refresh it after you add custom fields. So let's select magic URL and save. Now the last part we have left on the webhook is setting up the authentication and the custom headers. So I'll go here into set custom header. First is content type. Content dash type is application/JSON, and then the authorization header. So authorization, and for the value, now you'll need access to Backstage. So I'll switch to my Backstage tab. And to get your token, once you're logged in on any of the screens, you can click on your name in the bottom corner, click on your name again, and there's a screen here, API tokens. So from here, we can create a new token for the API. Let's call it Marketo. And you can copy this token. You'll see this only once, so make sure to copy it right away. And before you copy it, for the value, you have to type bearer, so B-E-A-R-E-R space, and paste the token there. So bearer space and the token you've just copied from SpotMe. So authorization bearer plus token, content type, application/JSON. Okay, and let's save this. And with this, our webhook is complete. So now we've created two custom fields and we've created our webhook. And now is the time to put all of this together in one of our event programs. So I'm going to switch to marketing activities here and select our event. Let me first give you a quick overview of what we have already set up in our program. First thing we have is this very simple landing page with a sign up form. What we're going to set up is that once someone submits this form, they're going to get added to our program, and we're going to automatically send them this confirmation email with the magic link to SpotMe. So let's go and set this up. First thing we'll do is in our event program, we're going to go to My Tokens, and we're going to add the token that is going to keep the connection between a Marketo program and a SpotMe workspace. So we're going to add a new text token. We're going to call it SpotMe_ID. This is the field we set up while we were setting up the Marketo webhook. Again, you can use a different name. Just make sure to update your webhook as well. And then for the value, we're going to copy the ID of the SpotMe workspace. So I have here our SpotMe plus Marketo launch event open. I'm just going to copy the ID from the URL, and let me paste that here. Perfect. Now let's set up our smart flow. Let's go to the registrations flow. The first thing we're going to do is call the webhook that we have just created, and that's push lead to SpotMe. Then as a second step, we're going to update the program member data. So we are going to update the SpotMe login URL field with the value that was stored by the webhook in the lead object. So here we're going to add some dynamic data, lead SpotMe magic URL. This is going to copy the magic URL from the person into our program member. And then as a last step, we're going to do is send our registration email. And let's select that, Marketo registration confirmation. Perfect. So now our flow is now set up. And the last thing we have left to do is use this token in our email. I never remember the token by heart, so I'm going to do this and select the token and select the token code from here, copy, paste it. And then I'm going to paste it here as the button link. And let's approve and close this email. And that's done. Let's try signing up for our event. Accept the terms and conditions. Perfect. We don't have any sign up action confirmed here, but let's go to check our inbox. And here is my email with the link to the SpotMe web app. Perfect. The integration is now complete. For every new registrant of our program event, we're going to add them to SpotMe, store the magic link in Marketo, and send them a confirmation email. You can continue using this token in all the emails within this campaign, so you can give a very easy, very quick access to your virtual event platform to your leads or contacts. The custom field and the webhook that we've set up at the beginning of the tutorial can be reused for all of your marketing programs. The only thing you have to change for each program that you want to integrate with SpotMe is to make sure to add a custom token to the program that is going to store the ID of a SpotMe workspace, and then make sure to call the webhook and update the program member data to make sure all the tokens are in sync. And thank you for watching.